guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. It's been about 5 days since I last posted a video, and I appreciate your patience here. If you guys didn't see my post I did last week, at the very last minute I jumped on a plane down to Florida on the 4th of July. I'm house hunting and I saw this amazing house pop up and some other good ones there. Flew down there, checked it out on July 5th, that was on Wednesday. The house that I wanted to see was absolutely amazing. Had everything I wanted in it, great price, great neighborhood, in-ground pool, an extra, an extra cottage on the property for guests, everything I wanted. Saw it, made an offer the next morning, and I kid you not, at the airport yesterday, the guy accepted. The guy, I actually met the owner of the house, which is strange, he was actually there when I saw it. We got along great, and because he liked me, he chose me over the other guy that was checking out the house. So, we're working things out, and essentially I got the house, which is freaking awesome. Therefore, I had to make multiple trips down to Florida, so I'm in a very good mood today. So I appreciate you guys being patient, because I haven't done any videos here on this channel for 5 days. And now I can get back to cranking them out multiple ones a day. And in case all you guys have been asking where in Florida I'm moving to, and I'm not going to say specifically where, because I want to keep some privacy here, but it is in Palm Beach County. And let me tell you, it was hot as a motherfucker there, and I'm going to have to definitely adapt to that. But anyhow, it's a good day here. So for today, I'm going to be going over in the Ask SSM video series, something a little different. This is actually a post I found that was sent over to me by a guy on Reddit. And while it isn't a subscriber asking a question, this guy was asking such a good question that that'd be a good one to go over here. And the title of it is, My Significant Other as bringing up us getting married ever since my best friend got engaged. How do I explain to her that the situations are entirely different? So what we have here is a young guy, 25 years old, his girl's 24. They've been together for 2 years, and she's putting the pressure on to get married. I thought this would be a very good one to go over here, because this isn't very long, because I got a lot of young subscribers watching me, a lot of young guys that do relationships, let's be honest here, and I'm sure thinking about wedding bells one day, just having this knowledge. And I'll be going to show you the type of pressure and bullshit that will start happening in their mid to late 20s with the gals when they're ready to get that ring on their finger. Whether it's because they want to be a wife or they want a wedding. And there's a difference. And one big component is when they start seeing other people around them, their friends, the guy's friends, other people in their family getting married. They then, because let's be honest, most people in this world are sheep, they want to get married. And this is something that guys are going to deal with. And if you're not strong enough, you could be making a big mistake just to keep her around and make her happy, which we all know, good fucking luck with that. Anyhow, I'm going to go through his situation here, and I'm going to get into more detail about what I was talking about now in the beginning. So he says here, my significant other and I have recently moved in together. My best friend is getting married to his girlfriend of 7 years. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years, and I see a future with her, but I don't want to get married at 25 years old. Then don't, brother. I would prefer to wait until at least my late 20s, and ideally live together for a year at least before getting engaged. You see how sensible this is on the basis that he's already think he's going to get married one day. That's his business. But at least he wants to take his time, late 20s, which I do recommend. Get to know her, get to know what it's like living with her, because any of you guys that live with a woman know darn well there's the honeymoon phase when you're dating, and it's all great, and you're imagining, oh, we move in together, I can save all this money. I can split the rent and all this, and I get the SEX all the time. And what happens when you move with your girl? Are you getting the SEX all the time? Maybe some of the time, but not as much as you thought. You're also seeing what she looks like when she doesn't take care of herself in terms of do herself up when you go out. You see her with the Bride of Frankenstein fucking look, with her hair sticking up in the air and her walking around in pajamas. You get the point. You walk into the bathroom after things are going on and you see her in a whole different light. Lots of things. You'll start to see if she's going to be a nagging pain in the ass, if she's messy, all these things. So these are things you want to do as a final test if you get married, and take your time. But the women, they want to rush things forward. He says, ever since my best friend was engaged 6 months ago, she has been saying that we should get married soon. She's only 24 years old, but seems fine with marrying young. Well, 24 years old is not like it was in the age of our parents and grandparents. My mom used to tell me, my mom who graduated high school in, I believe, 1963, said in the small town that she grew up in, it was common in 1963, people to get married out of high school, 19, 20 years old, shit, even 18. But there was a whole different level of maturity back then than there is now, and you all are aware of this. That's why people always say SSM. It was different with my grandparents or my parents. Yeah, that was 40, 50 fucking years ago. It was different then, you know? But nowadays, the gals don't have the maturity. Not all, but many. As the guys, let's be honest. There's no rush. He needs to establish himself. She needs to establish herself too. I told her early on in our relationship the things I mentioned above regarding marriage and engagement. She keeps bringing up my best friend saying he's marrying now, etc. There are many differences in the situations, so it's hardly a fair comparison. How do I explain this to her? She doesn't seem to get it. Well, she doesn't get it because for multiple reasons. Number one, you, the guy, I'm going to speak to this guy as if he wrote into me. And you got young guys watching this can learn from what I'm saying here. She's not getting it because she's speaking and processing from the language of emotion, as women do. He is speaking from a place of logic and reason, as men do. Okay, I want to wait till my late 20s. Probably wants to establish himself more. Probably wants to save more money. All logical things. There's no goddamn rush. Or the fact that maybe I want to get to know her better and see what it's like living with her. As all you guys that lived with a woman know darn well, you see a totally different side to her. You know what I'm talking about because I've been there too. Once you start living with her and once that honeymoon stage of the living together takes place, you really learn a lot of things. And there's no rush. Now, sure, women can say the biological clock, but she's fine. But let's get into her psyche here. What's in her mind? All my friends are getting married or getting a ring on their finger. I want my special day too. Now, does this mean that every single gal that gets married isn't going to do it because they don't love their guy and actually want to have a family and kids with him? There are still some traditional gals, I can't say all, but a lot do it because that's just what the rest of the girls are doing. They spend, nowadays, the typical young gals, spend the high school and college years doing their carousel thing. Let's be honest here. And then when they're done and can barely walk anymore from Chad and Tyrone taking care of them, now they want to find their nice guy. He's 25, she's 24. Which means 2 years they've been dating. So around 22, and he was 23, that's when they got serious. Usually about that time, that's when they start slowing down the carousel phase, find the nice guy they want to settle down with, and by mid-20s, they're thinking wedding bells. He has to be aware of this, and I hope that he's thought this through, that he's not that guy that she just scanned the room for and found the nice guy and went to him. What happens is, all their friends are now starting to get the rock on their finger, and they want their special day too. No, they don't want to be just the bridesmaid, they want to be the bride. And sadly, don't give a shit about the guy. They just want a freaking guy to marry them. Their starter husband. I'm sure you heard that. So young guys, you must be aware of this, that girls are just going to follow what the rest of them are doing. Even though a friend's situation could be completely different. He mentioned his friend, you've been with the same girl for 7 years. Okay, that's 7 years. That's a long time to be with somebody, get to know them and all that. See what the things are like through thick and thin. And I don't know how old the friend is here, as opposed to being with her for 2 years. So guys, understand this for your relationship, guys. The girl is not going to be thinking logically. She's going to think about all her friends. Because human beings are sheep. The majority of them. Women take it to a new level. They will do more because what their friends are doing than anybody else. And sadly, they'll find some guy who just is happy to have a girlfriend, pay attention to him, and he's afraid of losing her. And if he doesn't give her what she wants, she'll give him an ultimatum, make him feel like she's going to leave him, and he'll then go along with this bad idea. Guys, if you don't want to get married or move a relationship forward too fast, or basically make a life change for somebody else to make them happy, all you're going to do is make yourself miserable. If this guy went along with this, it would be a terrible mistake. He doesn't want to. He knows it's a mistake. But I worry for him and guys like him that because they're so in love with their girl and afraid of losing them, they will give in. Guys, you can't do that. You have to do what's best for you. And like I said, you live for other people, you are going to be miserable. Guarantee that. In fact, guys that have made that mistake, comment below. Let the young guys know this. What this guy needs to do is try to sit her down and in a way as best possible to come off as understanding and loving, because he does want to keep her around. Say, hey, say what he has to say, but he's simply not ready. That's it. But in time, after we've been together a little longer, and he can explain that. Now, we can all laugh saying good fucking luck with that, but at least he can say he made the effort. And at that point, then, it's not what she wants or makes him threat that, well, I have to find somebody else. Then he has to be prepared to call her bluff and let her go. Or in my opinion, if she's giving an ultimatum, then it is time to let her go, period. But it is far better that he walks away or they part ways and he goes at his own pace, and down the road, he can meet some chick if he's a marriage type and go from there. And remember, a lot of guys end up settling and marrying their girl when the girl is still in her prime, but his prime hasn't begun. Or say the girl's prime is ending and his prime is just about to begin. A man's prime really begins in his 30s when he's establishing himself in the world, starting to make something of himself, got some money coming in. He's developed, maybe if he was what's the word? I can't think of the word, but it took him a while to get where he is. And now he's becoming who he is, if you will. A lot of guys cash in their chips too early. And at that point, then he'll have his choice. And he'll have a lot of gals that want to get together, relationships, whatever, and he can have his choice. But, so guys, if you have a girl that's putting on the pressure about this, do not cave. Do not be pressured to do something you don't want to do. And again, a lot of times it's because all their friends are doing it. And you also, if you got a girl, and I might as well mention this now, that seems to go along with whatever her friends say, that is a terrible situation for you. You do not want to be a girl in that type of relationship. I personally can't respect people that can't think for themselves, sheep if you will. And once your friends start maybe cheating on their husbands or boyfriends, or wanting to do girls' nights all the time, or proposing open marriages, open relationships, it's only a matter of time for that's going to impact you. That's why I say you always pay attention to who her friends are. So even though in this situation she's mentioning his friend, doesn't make a difference. It's somebody else she's looking at. And again, they get so crazy about the freaking marriage, the wedding, not the marriage, because think about how many, your typical woman, by the time she's in her mid-20s, how many of these stupid-ass romantic comedies she's watching on the freaking Hallmark Channel or Oxygen Network, the rom-com movies, and they want their special day. And it is just brainwashed into them from when they're little girls. Don't give in to that, and don't be that guy. That's all I can say to this guy here. And one thing is going to happen is she'll stay with him, or she won't. And he may dig his feet in the ground and say, no, it's not going to happen. And she may leave and then come back later, or she won't. But guess what? Life will go on. Because remember, young guys, there are like 4 billion women in the planet. So if things don't work out with one, so the hell what? You got other ones. When I was a kid, a teenager, and I started liking the girls and getting caught up with the drama of being a teenager and dating and everything, and to have a girl I really liked and was bummed she didn't like me, my dad used to say, my old school dad, look, you can have lots of girlfriends. That was his attitude. Don't get so hung up on one. Big fucking deal. But I, of course, didn't get that at a young age, and I learned the hard way. So I'm sharing this to you guys that didn't have a dad to tell you these types of things. So don't rush into the situation. So for this guy, not that he's going to see this, but any guy in this situation, do not be pressured. Do not cave. You will regret it. Mark my fucking word. And if she gave an ultimatum or pressure him into something he didn't want to do, and women know when a guy doesn't want to do something but is just doing it anyway to make her happy, what's going to happen? She's going to lose respect for him. And if a woman doesn't respect a guy, she won't love him. You are all well aware of this, either if you've experienced this or heard these stories. So if you cave, then it's going to be like, oh, what else can I get this guy to cave on? And her respect will go less and less and less down the drain. And then there's disrespect and bullshit, and you follow me here. But if he stands up for himself and says no, even if she leaves, she's going to respect him for having the balls to stand up to her. And that actually will cause her maybe to come back because she'll have attraction for him and go from there. So I wish this guy the best. But guys, do not cave. Do not give in to this type of thing. Walk away and be prepared. And guess what? You will be okay. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy and any other guy out there know this in the comment section, what you think about this. Particularly you guys. Maybe you guys have yourselves made the mistake of being pressured into a relationship or marriage even, and it didn't work out. Let the young guys know in the comment section not to do that, to help them out. This is a community. We're helping each other out, and I really would appreciate just taking 30 seconds to do that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.